Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at r/BestofRedditorUpdates. Before we even get into it today, I'm going to say there's some heavy content warnings. These are for infidelity, emotional affair, grooming, teenage pregnancy, CSA, and R-wording. And the mood spoiler is horrifying. I'm going to put that at the start, so that if that is something that you cannot handle, feel free to dip out of this one. There'll be many more for you to listen to. Okay, if you are still around, just please do stick around, and I will not say enjoy this time, but yeah, let's judge this person harshly. Or this person's other half, should we say. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Okay, so this one was gathered by Choice Evidence 1983, and the title for it is My Husband Had an Affair with My Little Sister. Now, of course, we've gone through those content warnings, and I am going to reiterate them again, just in case that is something that you cannot deal with. Please do not trigger your mental health for the sake of listening to me waffle, okay? There will be many more that you can listen to, and I will see you on a different video. Anyway, if you are still here, let's get into it. So this was originally posted May 15th, 2025. My life will never be the same after this. We've been married for 2 weeks. My 27-year-old husband has been sleeping with my little sister behind my back. Married for 2 weeks. Wow. And this bombshell has been dropped. She's 17, legal age of consent. I think that's disgraceful that age is the legal age of consent, but unfortunately I am not a lawmaker. But she's still a baby. We've just found out that she's 1 month pregnant, but she refused to say who the father is. Yesterday, my parents asked me to come over. Apparently, they installed a monitoring app on her phone, and that's how they found out he's the father. My sister is saying she is sorry over and over again. My husband also apologised, saying he made a mistake and wants us to go for counselling and stay married. I'm sorry, but a mistake is like buying the wrong loaf of bread, buying the wrong brand of shampoo or tampons for your wife. Not sleeping with their child's sister. Like, that is fucking disgraceful. You are a pedo, my friend. I didn't say much. I told him I'm filing for divorce. I'm not changing my mind. I know for sure I'll never speak to him again after everything's over. As for my sister, I don't know. I honestly don't know. An update has been posted. So, relevant top comments. What are OOP and her parents' plans to do with her little sister? OOP says, I don't know yet. On one hand, she knew she was doing something wrong. But on the other hand, she's just a kid. I don't know how to feel or what to do. Commenter 1 says, I'm so sorry, OP. How long has he known your sister? If they recently met, they are both disgusting. Full stop. If he met her as a child, he probably groomed her. The fact that she was still trying to protect him after she got pregnant says a lot. Regardless, he's a predator. Yeah, I've got this horrible feeling that there is a lot more depth to this, and the husband is already a piece of shit, but I have a feeling that he is actually a grooming piece of shit. Then they go on to say, I also have an older sister and could never imagine doing this to her unless I absolutely hated her. I can't understand why she would do that to you. Shaking my head. That's it, isn't it? Because yes, she's the victim of a predator, but on a moral standpoint, for dating your sister's significant other or a friend's significant other as a teenager, you know that's wrong. So OOP then says, he's known her since we started dating, so about 2 years. She was 15. I'm sick to my stomach thinking about how long this may have been going on. OOP on if her parents and she will get the law involved and if an abortion was possible or not. OOP, the messages go far back, so my parents are still looking into it. Once we've found out how long it was going on, we'll get the police involved. The topic of abortion hasn't come up yet. And then OOP on the state where the age of consent is 17. OOP, Texas, from what I've read, kids 14 to 16 can consent to someone up to 3 years of age. Above them, I'm assuming that's supposed to say. While 17 plus can consent to anyone. That is so disgusting and so wrong. Commenter 2. She was 1,000% groomed by him. He knew what he was doing. If I were you, I'd move away for a good while. And then commenter 3, check whether you can file for an annulment rather than divorce. Yeah, because it's only been 2 weeks. So I think this would be one of those extenuating circumstances where even if there was quite strict laws on annulment, you'd probably get one. He married you under false pretenses while fathering a child with another woman, who is 17, and your sister, don't forget to add that in. The dates will support the annulment. Also, although you won't want to hear this, get an STI test, as you don't know who else he's been cheating on you with, and it's obvious he wasn't using protection. Very good point. Sending you a hug to help hold you together a little bit. Update, May 16, 2025, the next day. Update, my husband was arrested this morning. Yes. Thank you to everyone who read my first post and offered support. It feels like I'm living a nightmare. A lot more has happened, so I wanted to post an update. The day I posted, they took my sister to the police. She admitted that the relationship with my husband began when she was 15. That is disgusting. She also said things became physical when she was 16. They had exchanged inappropriate messages and images, and the content on her phone matched everything she told them. So grooming. My soon-to-be ex knew she was pregnant. He was arrested at his job earlier today. Last night was the first time in a year that I went to bed and he wasn't there. It felt surreal. My dad, who is very religious, insists my sister keep the baby. Oh, get fucked with that. Honestly, get fucked with that. My mum believes she should have the choice to end the pregnancy. Yeah, I mean, if she wants to continue with it, then no one can stop her. But if she doesn't want to, she should have the choice. I've already contacted a lawyer for the annulment and emphasised that I want no more contact with him. There's nothing left to salvage. Even though my sister has apologised several times, she still believes that she's in love with him. My family is planning to start family counselling soon. It will be focused on figuring out how to move forward and what kind of relationship, if any, I want to have with my sister. There are no clear answers right now. I think even if you're going to think about having a continued relationship with her, you know, because there is obviously an element of grooming here, I certainly would take a hell of a long break from her, and a no contact kind of break whilst I got my head right, because my goodness, something like this has got to mess with your head mentally in a very destructive way. The support I've received from people here has helped me feel less alone. Thank you. Relevant to top comments, how old is OOP? OOP is 24. Commenter 1, he's a monster. I'm glad he's facing consequences, but I'm heartbroken for all of you who are impacted by how vile he is. Commenter 2, wow, this is just awful. Praying for your family. I hope your ex gets a long time in prison and that you and your family are able, within time, to get through this. And then down in the comments, 2006 Bruin says, thank effing God he was arrested. What a piece of crap. And then Pseudonym says, A effing men. The poor sister, she's going to be a mess for a long, long time. Even if she was given every support possible, she's in a position where no matter what decisions she makes, she's likely to be guilt-ridden. My youngest kiddo is around that sister's age. The idea of her going through this makes my blood boil. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. See, I would go to prison if I found out a 27-year-old man had been diddling my teenage daughter. I swear, and I will promise this, the sick things that I would do to that bloke, it's horror movie worthy. He would be begging for prison, to be quite honest with you. I also just think it's good to point out that if anyone's ever married and messing around with you, they don't care about you. They just want to get their rocks off. They do not give a shit about you. No matter what they tell you, they might say, oh, my marriage is in tatters. My wife's a cow. I hate her. I love you. They don't. They don't. And there's probably about 5 of you. Anyway, moving on to the next post. This one was shared by Direct Caterpillar 77. It says, my girlfriend's girls' nights out include her friends' significant others, and I feel left out. Original post posted December 2nd, 2021. So, to make a long story short, my girlfriend of nearly 3 years has always had her girls' nights out, every 2 to 3 weeks or so, which is perfectly fine because I also had nights out where I did stuff with my friends as well. We're all in our mid to late 20s, by the way. But yesterday, while my girlfriend's friend and her boyfriend hung out at our place, the boyfriend referenced something that happened on Saturday, which was her last night out. I was confused, and after a bit of probing, found out that not only is he a regular on these nights out, but her other two friends bring their own boyfriends along as well. It's just me who's never been asked, nor even informed that these girls' nights out weren't the just need to be with my girls for a bit relaxing nights as she used to claim. Literally a few weeks ago we talked about her upcoming night out with them and she told me something like, "Sometimes I just really need to be with just the girls." Of course, I asked her once we were alone why she's never brought it up or why I have never been invited, but she just kept claiming that the guys weren't always invited and most of the time they tagged along. Honestly, I feel pretty alone and disrespected right now. Plus, even now, almost 3 years later, I feel like I am barely in her friend group. I feel like if they were all meeting up anyway, I could have been there and maybe have become friends with them as well. Unlike her, I do invite my girlfriend around to do stuff with my own set of friends a lot. Now it feels like it wasn't just the girls she wanted to see, but rather that she just really didn't want to spend that time with me. While her friends had no problem spending their time together with their boyfriends. I don't really know what to think or what to do. And then relevant comments. Ishin de Zehol. Sorry. I tried. I think you are entitled to feel bad. She has been masking going out with her friends under the girls' night. There is nothing wrong with her wanting to go out without you, but the lying part makes it weird and borderline disrespectful. I don't think this is an isolated incident, and you feel hurt because there have been other issues, right? Yeah, I feel this goes a lot deeper than what it looks like on the surface, for sure. OOP then says, I don't really know. I mean, everyone has their preferences and their own character. She's always been a bit more cold in the way that she acts than my previous partners, but I never thought that she'd feel like she needed this much of a break from me and the relationship as a whole. As I said in my post, I wouldn't have had an issue at all if this was just a girls' night out and if she did really need to have a bit of a break. But she was literally meeting up with her group of friends and their boyfriends. I genuinely can't imagine going out with my extended friend group twice in a row without even asking my girlfriend to be there with me. More often than not, she comes with me. So I just don't really understand why she'd want to separate me from her side of friends like that. I just don't know how to feel right now. Like, to me, this says that the OP's friends just really don't like the OP. The OP's girlfriend's friends, really don't like the OP. Why? I don't know. But that is how I'd feel. I'd feel like no one liked me and I'd feel really left out. And then Ishin Dezahor says, you feel hurt and that's natural. There is nothing wrong with that. When you talk to her, I'd suggest to focus on why. Why lie? Why keep you apart from the group? Why the need for a break? The issue overall can be the tip of an iceberg of something much bigger hurting your relationship. Sure, it could be she is just an ass, but in that case, there is not much you can do. And then Oceanaza Being says, straight up, just confront her with the why did I have to find this out? Why wasn't I informed? Why did I have to probe about the girls' night out? It could be nothing. Probably is, but she just needs to understand that that's not fair to you. Make it clear that it's not a fight and you just want to clear the air. She's going to get offended though. People are so used to people being fake that speaking directly is seen as aggressive. I wish you luck, fam, and stay strong, my brother. And remember that you're the victim. Don't play the victim card, but keep in mind that you did nothing wrong and you're just wanting to know what you don't know. And this is where it could get hairy. What's most important is why it took so long for you to know these things. Oh, hell nah, dude. I'm the jealous type and I would have made a scene. That's probably why I'm single, so take it with a grain of salt. That is very fair and well done for admitting that. OOP then says, maybe I should have properly confronted her. It was already late, so all we did was me asking it and her hand-waving me away more or less. That's very rude and dismissive. I will talk to her again. This is really bothering me if I'm being honest. I love her so much and I always try to include her and basically just spend more time with her. Finding out that she has been keeping me away from these nights out for whatever reason has really hurt me. All I can think of is, if she really needs such a break from me in the relationship, while her friends clearly don't, then is it even a relationship she's happy in? This is the golden question really, isn't it? Update, December 4th, 2021, 2 days later. Hey, so first of all, thank you all for your comments. I couldn't reply to them all due to the thread being locked. I read through them all and I did what I probably should have done directly when it first happened. I went and talked to her. To make a long story short, there were never any girls' nights out. These were always simple nights out with a friend group. This isn't very bad red flag that she was lying all that time. So, why wasn't I invited? Because they all hate my guts, due to her own fault, according to her. My girlfriend said back when we started dating, she always vented to them about me. All these small issues we fixed between her nights out and literally never talked about again was all her friend group knew about me. Issue after issue, but never how we fixed it together as well. See, this is the problem when you go mouthing off to your friends when you've got teething problems in your relationship. You have to be very careful and selective on what you tell people, because yes, of course, you should be able to tell your friends and you should be able to say, oh, he's really done my head in this time, you know, we've had this argument, and have a little vent. But if you're making it out like the OP is the worst person in the world, like your fella is the worst person ever, it was all his fault, you were not the wrong one in this argument, which is what I feel they've done for the OP's friends to hate them so much, then this is going to happen, you know? She realised that as well and stopped venting about me. But at that point, it was, according to her, too late. They'd always joke about me behind their backs. Like, what has she been saying about you? Because it must be bad for them to be this visceral hate against you, you know? The feeling I had of being ostracised on the rare occasions where one of her friends would hang out at our place wasn't just a feeling after all. They do really hate me. I simply wanted to know why she was okay with that and why she wouldn't stand up for our relationship. She said she wasn't okay with that, but what could she do? Not gossip, for a start. Her friends would have shit-talked her if she said anything. Well, then her friends are terrible friends. My goodness, this woman has zero backbone and a big old mouth and doesn't want to take accountability for anything by the sounds of it. Not only that, but her friends have me as the butt of all their jokes. In their minds, I'm an incompetent, impotent buffoon. All these effing side eyes I got when I would talk to any of them wasn't just in my imagination. I'd talk to my girlfriend back then and she'd always say, it's just in your head. Yet again, why is the girlfriend letting that happen? Like letting them be actually just nasty bullies to the OP. That is stepping over a line. To be honest, it made me mad that she was trying to be the victim in this situation. I don't know why, but finding out that they despise me and my supposed-to-be girlfriend is tolerating it and wouldn't defend me made me really, really upset. And if I'm being honest, at this point, I kind of mentally checked out and I already knew that I won't allow this disrespect and this relationship is already through. Yet, there is so much I just don't understand. So I asked her simply, why? Why would you be okay with any of that? And why wouldn't you either stop being friends or literally demanding them to stop talking like that about us and about me? All she said was something like, you know how I am. I don't really like being the centre of attention. I just kept quiet. Well, then you're an idiotic doormat, my love, because they are ruining your relationship. Finally, I just asked her if anything would change going forward, and she said she could try talking to them individually, but she said it in such a timid way that I don't think for a second she actually meant it. I feel she's actually very manipulative, you know? I feel like this timid thing is an act, personally. That's how I read it. Because she certainly wasn't timid when she was gobbing off about you every 5 minutes, was she? Anyway, long story short, I broke up with her. It sucks and I feel really badly about myself right now. I've always tried to be the best version of myself in this relationship, but knowing that there is a whole group of people out there who literally hate me and the one person who is supposed to love me and defend me no matter what, yet didn't, kind of sucks. TLDR, we talked, found out there were no nights out, her friend group hate me, and she tolerated and wouldn't even entertain the thought of changing anything about it. I broke up with her. Final comments, can't even remember, says, so, I gotta ask, what was her reaction to being broken up with? OOP says, she cried and begged me not to, but as I said above, I asked her if anything at all would change, but even then she wouldn't budge. I was 99% sure I was going to end that talk broken up with her, but after seeing her in action and the actual talk just solidified it so much more. She left for her BFF's apartment and hasn't messaged me yet, but to be honest, there isn't really anything she could say to change my mind by now. I loved her and still do love her a lot, but I'm still trying to process her friends more or less bullying me indirectly and her literally just being okay with it. And then Overripe Cucumber says, it isn't just her friends though. She wasn't just okay with it as an observer. She said all those terrible things about you to them. Exactly. This is why I think she's really manipulative. She made them think all this garbage. She was the one bad-mouthing you and making you the butt of the joke. Only after she had laid down all that groundwork did she stop to think how things had become. And she lied to you many times and knowingly gaslit you. You deserve so much better, and I hope you are able to find someone who is more respectful of you in the future. Her character flaws finally revealed themselves, and she was not a great partner to you. I am sorry. This woman, I feel like, actually got a bit of a kick out of making you the bad guy and her friends being like, oh, you're so much better than him. Because I bet you that's what they were saying. You're so much better. You should leave him. You are amazing. And he's just there. So then down in the comments, Random Dudo1 says, I bet that ex is never going to admit what she did and never going to correct her friends once they started calling OOP a monster and that she deserved better. And it's hard to blame the friend group for that. She poisoned the well just fine on her own. I mean, to be honest, though, I am going to blame the friend group because not only did they then, knowing that she's staying with this guy, sit there and just spew vile stuff about him, treat him harshly in his own house, you know? So they aren't innocent party in all this. Even as a shoulder to cry on, it's hard to judge when to be sympathetic and let your friend run the frustrations out or when to tell them to look at a mirror. And then Butterbean CD says, she's for sure going to say she broke up with him. All the friends will congratulate her for finally coming to her senses and getting away from him, and none of them will ever know the reality. Yeah, that is exactly what's going to happen. And I think that is a perfect lesson, isn't it, in keeping your mouth shut when it comes to your relationship, unless you want big problems like this to arise. But again, I feel like the OP's girlfriend just didn't care, and she quite enjoyed it. Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you'd like to give it a little like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, I'd appreciate you even more, and it helps you find your way back here for more madness. Why wouldn't you want that? Whatever it is you're doing for the rest of your day, I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Goodbye!